is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place where you can drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's just one place where you can take $10,000 off the 2025 Acura MDX. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place where you could drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us #1.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
You know, very few have lived it and covered it here in South Florida sports, or I've covered Bitcoin, baby. We are over 103. Yeah. Ha! Did you doubt it? Did you doubt it? If you doubt it, you a fool. You a fool. Anyway, welcome aboard. It's a beautiful day. Bags are a-pumping and everything. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's a beautiful, and it's only a start too, which is probably the best part about it, is that we are just getting warmed up here on the run, which is beautiful. Solana hitting 220. I mean, it's just good, dude. Even Polygon woke up. They're up almost 8% today. Chainlink approaching $25. Avalanche over $40, up 5%, over $41 actually. It's nice. Alethea liquid intelligence token is up 42% right now. Bitcoin's up nearly 6%. XRP is up to $3.25. It was a little higher, actually. It was in the 330s yesterday, so it came down a little bit, actually, from its hot streak. It's beautiful, bro. Injective Protocol up 10%. The Polis from Star Atlas is up 10%. So it's a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing. Good mood today. We got the Heat back in action. Will Jimmy Butler play? I don't know. Have you noticed that, Sean, that they talk about no designation, but nobody knows if he's playing or not? And if you were suspended, were you practicing with the team yesterday or the day before? So, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of it shows how nobody really knows all the rules here, because couldn't he still be suspended for the game? Couldn't he be put on the side? Right?
Yeah, I would think so, because remember when he got the flu, they put him on that that deal where he whatever, to get back in condition or whatever, they put him as that designation for a week. So yeah.
Because nobody says he's playing. They're just pointing out that he's not on suspension. But what's the Heat going to do? They're going to tell you ahead of time so you can start writing all kinds of shit and arguing about it on television and radio and all that? No. So they wait till they have to make the announcement, which I would imagine it's sometime this afternoon is when they're going to make an announcement of, is he playing or he's not playing? Personally, you guys know what I think. He should not play. You should put him on the side, and it's better for you. You don't want to risk injury. His body is in terrible shape. His body can't hold up. Okay? I don't care what anybody tells me. He's broken down completely. He's a scam artist, and he's trying to pull it off. So I think he probably won't even try to play extended periods of time, because he knows he's going to risk himself getting injured and not getting an extended payday. Because for him, it's not about just 1 year. He wants to get 2 more years on top of that. You know what I'm saying? And so he's trying to find somebody who's really stupid to actually do that. You know what I'm saying? What I'm glad is that the Heat aren't stupid enough anymore. They were already dumb enough to give him this last contract. So now, hopefully we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're able to maneuver themselves the way I want to. I don't know I don't know exactly the laws of the NBA, where can you legally just put them on the shelf to protect yourself and the team? And since it's a malcontent and somebody that doesn't want to play here, the proof is there already. by his actions and by his words. So you should have more than enough to state your case and say, yeah, he's, we'll try to trade him, but for now, it's not worth playing and being a part of our team because it's too disruptive. And it's time to move on. So I'm dying to find out, what do they do? I'll be very, very, very disappointed if they have to play him. Very disappointed if they have to play him. Or no, let me phrase it another way. I'll be disappointed if they actually activate him when they could have shelved him. If there's a way of keeping him on the bench, away from the team, without, while you try to trade him, then that's what I would like to do. If legally or whatever you cannot do that, then I understand, then you're screwed. But if there's any way I can distance the team from Jimmy Butler, I would do that in a heartbeat. Okay? So I would have done it 3 years ago, but that's just me. All right, what do we got here? One-Eyed Jack is in the house. Have a great Friday. Enjoying the Bitcoin crypto pump. You should be, One-Eyed Jack. All of us, especially those of us that got in earlier and earlier. It's a beautiful thing. Jay Gelfin is in the house. Ray Sosa, Cosa Nostra. I'm looking forward to the playoffs too. Gus 1388, Corso Traven. Skylar Tipton. Tua got to stay healthy for that game in Spain. Yeah, but shit, you saw the arm? He completed a ball all the way to Spain. When they say he can't throw deep, he throws across a freaking ocean. That's, you people are so full of shit. I just saw him in a video throw the ball to another guy in a stadium in Spain. They thought it was a drone, but no, it was Tua's football crossing an ocean over Madeira and everything. So it had arc. Robert T is in. Oscar Rojas is smashing it. And the like button too from Melbourne. Steve Chapman. Horn Dog says, keep Jimmy away. I'd trade his ass to the Wizards. Find your Joy Taylor there. Did you? I'm sorry, you said Joy. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Does Joy live there? Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to trade him wherever you could get a pick and no bad contracts on the way back. That's what the Heat are looking for. Giovanni wants Jimmy off the team also. Oh, by the way, let's put up a poll question for today. What do you want to see with Jimmy Butler? Do you want Jimmy Butler on or off the team starting tonight? Okay. Do you want Jimmy Butler on or off the team starting tonight? What say you, Heat fan? Get that poll question up, and you guys can vote on it. I'd like to see what you guys think about that. What else do we have? The hang up for the Heat is that they're getting shitty offers. Everybody's giving them bad contracts in return, and they don't want any bad contracts. They want to get out of this bad contract and create space for themselves. So they don't want to take on anything like when Ira was telling me taking on contracts that had 2 years left and on. And I'm like, no, bullshit, dude. If you don't get anything that expires this year, then you don't take it. You got to be clear to that money at the end of the year. He wants to leave, then get the fuck out, dude. Leave, dude. Get out. You believe in yourself so much, go. And that's it. He's going to need Miami for a sign and trade. So either way, Miami has the driver's seat in all of this. That's it. And by the way, even if he wants to play, he'd be playing for himself, not for anybody else. Frankie Fresco is in the house. You might do the Spain game. Yeah, we might do the Spain game. The poll question is up. Do you want Jimmy Butler on or off the Miami Heat? Okay, there you go. Stony Stanley, good morning to you, sir. Oscar Rojas. Spo is God, not Eric Clapton. Well, I mean, it all depends on how you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? You could look at Eric Clapton as God, too, you know? I'm not going to diss Slowhand here. I am in no place to diss Slowhand's greatness. Alexis Palenzuela, Brian Landis, Jay Slim. He's loving his chain link. So do I. Kyle Cockrell, there you go. Kyle, I'm still loading up on Caspa as much as I can. As much as I can. Apparently, we hit 104,000. That's what I'm hearing on there. Yeah, we're at 104. 104,159. We're going parabolic. It's crazy, bro. This is crazy. Crazy. And then the best part is it's not just Bitcoin now. Now the altcoins are really going to make their run now. And so that's the beautiful thing right now of what's going on. It is sweet, ladies and gentlemen, sweet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jazz me up over 7%. Shiba Inu for you Shiba folks. I'm out of Shiba, but they're up over 10%. I'm a Cody guy. Cody's up over 8%. Love it. I love it. Let's see. True Fin Fan is farting through a Friday like the goat of gas. There you go. Kyle Cockrell says, how about that Caspa pump? 35% the last 7 days. You bought the low. It looks like nice snipe by you, Big O. Yes. Yes. I announced that I was going all in on Caspa. Let me see. I'll tell you exactly here. Because it's on Twitter. And you know, you it's right there. Here we go. 5 days ago, it said, I'm on the Caspa bandwagon, excited to get in on the early stages of what could, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, of course, be the digital silver of the blockchain. Bitcoin and Caspa are true proof of work blockchains with halvings and high-level hash rate, creating elite security. Not a financial advisor, of course. And we did this 5 days ago. And so you go back and you look at the Caspa chart. And I'm going to pull it up here on one of my things here instead of over there. Here we go. I can pull up because I can do it a lot faster here. I pull up the 7-day and I go back 5 days and we're up 37.86%. Since I went in, we are up 37.86. I don't know. I mean, listen, timing the bottom or the top is impossible. Sometimes you get kind of lucky and you get close. I didn't nail it because it hit in the 10s. But once I started seeing the movement a little bit into the 11s, I said, okay, I think this is the one. And, you know, because I had told Kyle, hey, I'm looking in, but I'm not in. He knows. And then I just went in. So if you followed me on that day, you're up 37% from that day. That's pretty good returns. I don't know. Last time I checked, 37%. You think that's decent there, Sean? In 5 days, an investment? Yeah. And for you wussies out there, you could have invested and then get your money right out, and that's it, and get out. You know, I don't do that. When I always tell you guys, whatever I invest in, I don't have a lot of money. So whatever it is, it's a long-term thing. I'm not looking at a short-term. I don't have money. If I had big money, then I can do the short-term stuff. If I had big money with what I know, oh my God. Shit. I would have a lot of money, put it that way. Like a lot of money if I had money, you know. If I were a rich man. Let's see. What else do we have here? Alexis Palazuela says, off the damn team. Kyle, thank you, sir. I'm not a smart man, but I got lucky on that one. That's the way I'll go. Smart, yeah, that's not me. Let's see. Sean, they're asking you, True Fin fans asking you, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Oh, there you go. You answered it. Dusty Rhodes. There you go. Okay. Sneak Attack says, you said it yourself years ago when we first got Butler. The only way this move works is if we get another star next to him. We didn't do that and back then and never did. I want to see Jaquez Jr. develop. Yeah, exactly. And Jaquez doesn't develop with Butler around because it's the same kind of player. So you can't do that. You know what I mean? You got to let Jaquez get his 30 minutes a game and develop. We need these young guys to find out what they are, who they are. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important to play this entire season without Butler. And that way you get a real feel for it. Okay, that guy's a role player. This guy might actually be a star. This guy has, whatever. That's it. This guy doesn't belong. You'll find out about people by putting them in these positions the rest of the way. And so I think that's the most important thing right now. Butler is not important whatsoever. You have no chance at a title. None whatsoever. You've overachieved by miles. It's time to move on. It was time to move on a couple years ago. It's just you didn't see it. You couldn't see through the trees. You had terrible foresight. Like by the way, the Heat have had. They've been terrible the last 10 years. They do not plan well. So it's just something that's gone on with them lately. But they need to tear the scab off, and hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. John Padilla's checking in from the Bay Area. There you go. All right. Giovanni's got a response for you, Sean, on the wrestling side. Don't forget, folks, you can always make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Don't forget R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall, Ray and Mike. They do amazing work, folks. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for custom remodel, complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, whatever it is you need, even with appliances, for you condo folks out there, waterproofing for your terrace, your balcony, flood test reports, all of that are so important. Bathroom upgrades, floor restoration, stucco repairs, maintenance, whatever it is you need, maybe even drywall. They do up to level 5 finish for you. Anywhere in Dade, Broward, call them 305-345-3649. That is their cell phone. That's the owner's cell phone. You're going to reach Ray right away. Ray and Mike, 305-345-3649. If you want to see how professional their work is, go to RMC Fisher Island on Instagram, RMC Fisher Island, and you're going to see some incredible work from R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. By the way, today, David Furones will join us at 10:30. We'll talk a little Dolphins. There isn't much in the news outside of they are now playing in Madrid. They are going to be playing a home game in Madrid in Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid. Is that how it's pronounced? Bernabeu? I'm not sure. Stadium in Madrid, Spain. Home to Real Madrid, by the way, the football team. We don't know the opponent. Chicago, by the way, is the other team that has the rights to Spain outside of the Dolphins. So I don't know if they're playing Chicago. I don't think so. I think you play another team, not the other team that has the rights. Like next year, Chicago will probably go to Spain or some shit, or 2 years from now or something. That's probably what's going to happen. At least that's my guess. I'm spitballing here. I don't really know.
to be quite honest. But Sean, what do you think? Do we do if the fans want us to cover it, and we got to, obviously there's got to be a Dolphins bar there too. I think we're going to have to do like a GoFundMe for that one. Okay. And and of course get sponsors. But it would be cool to go. And being, my last name Alzuaray, which is Vasco, we're from my people are from Spain. Originally, they're the people from the mountains, is what I'm told. That's what I'm told. I have no idea. That's just what I'm told. I got to go by what they tell me. I have no real, clue about it. So maybe I go to where my blood, my peoples, my origins are. But anyway, we'll talk to David Furones about that. Good food in Spain. Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navarro will be at 11 o'clock, followed by our Big Cheese Miami NIL and recruiting report, also with the great Manny Navarro. So that'll be at 11 o'clock. Adolfo says it's Bernabeu. Bernabeu. Okay. Bernabeu. Is that how you're saying? All right. Bernabeu Stadium. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. True Fin Fan says, this show isn't for everyone who's a fan of South Florida sports. Why? Because the truth is spoken here with no fear, no fakeness. Plus, this show has connections that others just don't have. Second to none. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And even in some of the sports that we may not have the other connections that others do, we still kind of we kind of predict what ends up going to happen or needs to happen and all that. By the way, speaking of a predictor, I was a huge Jared Verse guy in the draft. And obviously he's had a monster year for the Rams. He didn't get to fall for our Dolphins. I don't know if we would have drafted him or not or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. I would hope. I would like to think that if Jared Verse fell to the Dolphins, how many picks did he go right before Miami? I want to say it's like 3 or 4. Can you check that out for me, please, in the draft? But Jared is in the news. And so, as you all know, I was a big Jared Verse guy. Wanted him badly for our team. I thought that would be the guy that can be a game changer and can, go after the quarterback. And, that's exactly what he is. Anyway, so Jared Verse now, I don't know. I might get inspired and go buy a Jared Verse Rams jersey. I might buy a jersey from an opposing team just for this. Just for this. Jared Verse isn't afraid to incur the wrath of Eagles fans ahead of Sunday's game in Philadelphia. Verse, who grew up in Pennsylvania, told the LA Times that he has always despised fans of the Eagles. I love this guy. I hate Eagles fans, Verse said. They're so annoying. I hate Eagles fans. When I see that green and white, I hate it. I actually get upset. Like I actually genuinely get hot. I don't even do nothing to him, he said. It's just my first time playing there. I hate Eagles fans. Because he knows the kind of scumbag, low-life pieces of crap that they are. Like that idiot that got thrown out and fired from his job because he's a disgusting pig. Because that's what Philadelphia Eagles fans are. I'm sure there's a few of you that are actually decent people, but there's a large portion of you Eagles fans that you're just garbage. Absolute garbage. I am a huge I want the Rams to win the Super Bowl just for Jared Verse. Thank you for your honesty, Jared Verse. There's not enough people that are willing to just go out there, us, not even in the media like me would say it, but And we need more in the media, like me would say it, but very few in the media have real balls. Now, fans will say it, not enough of everyone else, players, everyone. People need to come out and call out Eagles fans for the scumbags that they are. That's all. It's what we should do. We should call them out constantly for the scumbags that they are. Embarrass them, just like that guy right there. Continue to run cameras and embarrass Eagles fans. And, maybe down the line, look, we all came from cavemen. You know what I'm saying? Problem is, in Philadelphia, they never evolved from the caveman. That's the problem in Philadelphia. So somehow or another, it's still prehistoric over there. So we've got to see if they start walking straight one day. You know what I'm saying? So, Jared Verse, more power to you, dude. More power to you. I am going to be rooting for those Rams, not because of all the emotional stuff that those poor people have gone through, and obviously they need a little sum for lifting them up a little bit and all that good stuff, and that's great for that. But just because he has come out and put those disgusting Eagles fans where they deserve to be, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Jared Verse, bro. Why couldn't you be a Dolphin? Holy shit. Yes, sir.
He went 19. Dolphins had 21.
Oh, he went 2 picks before. Man, I wanted that guy so badly. So badly. If you go back and if you remember those shows for a couple of weeks leading up to the draft, that was the one guy that I would ask some of the draft guys, hey, any shot at Jared Verse falling to us? Most people didn't think that he would fall. I didn't think he would fall to Miami, to be quite honest. But, yeah, he's good, man. He's good. And I like he's got some balls. By the way, the poll question, do you want Jimmy Butler on or off the Miami Heat? Off, 85%. Wow. On, 15%. Wonder on, what's your justification? It's easy for off. There's lots of justification. There's lots of reason to want him off. But why on? That's the interesting discussion on that one. Let's see. My parents are both Cuban. Father's side go back to Seville, Spain, and my mother's side goes back to England. My grandfather's name was Ramon Pola Smith. Crazy, huh? I find it super cool. Yeah, we're all mutts, dude. We're all mixed from somewhere or another. I mean, it's that whole shit that Bill Murray does in Stripes. While he's being, funny in that moment and all that stuff, while he's trying to, pump up the troops. And for you youngins that haven't seen Stripes, well, what's wrong with you? But anyway, in that moment, when he's describing us as all mutts, he's right. It's what we are. You know what I mean? So we're all mixed from all kinds of different places and crossed over and all that good stuff. So anyway, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Sean Stanley. And, of course, the great Alan Blanco, his crypto bags are pumping, too. He is loving life right now. The Red Wings defeated the Panthers 5-2 last night. That one hurt, bro. They will take on Anaheim at 6 o'clock on Saturday at the Kaseya Center. Bob was pulled after 11 saves. Knight had 4 saves and 4 tries. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Nuggets and Heat. Will Jimmy Butler play? We do not know. Saturday at 2 o'clock, basketball, they will host SMU. Miami is 4-13 and struggling big time. The Lady Canes, they lost to BC last night, 83-79. They dropped to 1-5 in the ACC. They're having a good season at 11-6, but not a good start so far in the ACC. Sunday, they will visit FSU at 2 o'clock. New Mexico State and FIU last night. New Mexico State defeated FIU 59-52. And Sunday at 1 o'clock, Rice will visit FAU. And Nova Southeastern on Saturday at 4 o'clock will take on Florida Tech on the road. They just defeated Florida Southern on Wednesday, 117-112. And, of course, the Miami Dolphins. The NFL has announced they will play a regular season home game in Madrid, Spain. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. If you need custom printing and embroidery, call my guy, Alan Blanco, at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. Let's talk a little Dolphins football with the one and only David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, dog. How you doing, baby? Feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Another offseason Friday with waking up to some big news on the Dolphins going. Well, I mean, we already knew it was going to happen, but just to make it official and have the word out there. Though I wish it was a little bit better weather outside. I'm seeing it's like rainy and foggy outside. So I was hoping the weather would be a little better.
Well, do you and Perk have to fight to go to Spain, or will they actually spend the money to send you both?
Well, the precedent for international games is one.
No. Dave Hyde is the guy that has more tenure than both your asses. So what happens there is do you guys play like the short end of the stick stuff? Or what's that thing called? The whatever it's called when you pick out the things. Or what do you do? How do you settle that? There's 3 people. Somebody's getting screwed. Is the Sentinel going to spend the kind of money to send 3 people or 2 people or just 1?
Yeah, 3 people is definitely out of the question. We don't do that for any domestic games. So I can tell you that one right now.
That was back in the old days, baby. Back in the old days, they used to send a crew of people. It was awesome back in the day.
Yeah. 2 people is also probably not happening. The precedent in recent years, at least since I've been on the beat, is 1 goes to an international game. We do send 2 on the road still to all the domestic road games. Yeah, in the States.
So who goes? You go because you're the beat guy?
I think that's what would happen. We haven't crossed that bridge yet. So once we get into scheduling it for next season, then we'd break that down. But yeah, as the beat guy in the last few years, and I've had it where I'm going on every road game so that I'm doing the reporting, and then since Perk and Hyde are columnists, then they could write a column from home, and they've also been everywhere in their sports.
No es por nada, chico, pero tú eres el único que habla español.
Sí, eso también, sí. Mis raíces son en España.
¿Me entiendes? No es por nada, pero, papá, tú eres el único que habla español. So, if we're doing the math, okay, Perkins, español, no. Hyde, español, no. Furones, español, sí. Where you're going, español. So, yeah, you want to do both, yeah.
Yes, and David Furones.
Like if I was an editor at a paper, all my baseball writers would have either you learn Spanish or you are from Spanish origin. But if you don't speak Spanish, you would never be a baseball writer for me if I was an editor. That to me, if you don't, that's the one sport that the language barrier will hurt you, because I know I've been on the baseball beat. I was the guy that translated for Levon Hernandez before they got a translator. You know that?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So Levon would have to talk, right? And they didn't have a guy. They hired a guy like within the first month or 2 of the season. Colangelo figured it out that they needed they didn't have a Hispanic PR guy. I think the guy's name was Sarmiento or something like that. I think it was, or something. I forgot the guy's name, but anyway, so I was on that beat that year, and when I would, when he would pitch well, it was on almost every time, pretty much. That everybody would gather around, and then he would answer, and I would have to then translate for all the English beat guys. Like, they didn't know what the hell Levon was saying. Levon didn't know Spanish. And then they figured out, oh shit, we better go get a PR guy, because we don't want the media within themselves translating stuff, and we have no idea what he's saying. You know what I mean? They got to have some control over that. You know what I'm saying? So it's understandable. They had to go get somebody. So I had to be the guy, since I was the bilingual guy in the group. Clark Spencer didn't speak Spanish, and I'm trying to remember who were the other guys that were on the beat. Mike Berardino. Okay, now we're back. Mike Berardino was on that beat. I'm trying to remember, like, all the guys. They were all English speaking guys. So somebody had to translate. And so that's why I say that I think you got an inside track. I'm just saying. Yeah. You can give the perspective. Talk to a Hispanic Dolphins fan. They can't.
Right. I would love to go over there and write a story like that. Like,
it's
Dolphins fans in Spain. Yeah.
They're going to ask you.
Right. If you go there, you're not, right. Everything else, they stream it anyway. So you could just like write it from wherever, your basement. But,
but you're going to have a whole bunch of Dolphin events that week, and Hispanic Dolphin fans are going to be there. And that's going to be your chance to talk to fans that aren't from here. Right. You could talk to Bob and Sports Babe 305 and Dolph Freaky, and they're all at all the road games, international, national, whatever. You can see them all the time. But now the Spanish fans, so we're going to try to go too. We're going to try to go.
Right. Oh, excellent. Yeah, that would be great.
I want to see if we go and then try to set ourselves up and broadcast during the week at a Dolphins bar in Madrid. There's got to be one, because we have Dolphins bars all over. The team that doesn't win shit is the team that has bars all over the world.
Well, because Miami knows how to throw a party, so that's why.
Like, the Heat win titles, and there's no Heat bars in other places.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think football's different, though.
Well, it's had a shitload of success. Well, actually, there's one in Flagler Beach, because we went to it, because it's a Dolphins/Canes bar. But again, it's like it's funny. Like, I don't know, Panthers are, they just started, but it's the Dolphins have won nothing, and you can find Dolphin bars all over the world, bro. It is amazing.
Yeah, when I went to Germany a year and a half ago now, in November 2023, that was certainly the case out there, and then met a lot of Dolphins fans that were international. A lot of them from London that just trekked over to Germany, and going to like a Dolphins bar party there, which my memory of it is that they played the Miami Dolphins touchdown song like once every hour for that party, that Friday watch party there.
I got to tell you, the one I look forward to the most, nothing against Spain or any other stop or whatever, I got to go to an English pub of Dolphin fans. To me, I think that is going to be the best atmosphere that I could think of internationally, because they're such great sports fans that I would imagine that they just must be some passionate, crazy mofos in England, bro. I can't wait. I want to do that one day.
Absolutely. And London is one where I haven't been yet, because the Dolphins, after all those years where they would get sent to London so often, and usually with a home game being lost, I never had those. My first year was the last time they were on the Dolphins beat, was the last time they were in London, and then Dave Hyde got that one. So, since then 2 years later, they get Germany. I was on that one, and then now, hopefully, if everything goes as planned, then I would be the one going to Spain, and which I have family there too, in España. my roots are from there. You know, Spain.
Oh, you too? Huh? Oh,
Yeah, right. Yeah, but like my family, my ancestry went from Spain to Cuba, and then some still in Spain, and some still in Cuba, and then now here. So
yeah, you know what? I don't even know if I have any family in Spain, because obviously that's where my family originates from.
Right.
Batco. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. I should look that up and see if there was any kind of my lineage
Right.
left over there. You know what I'm saying? That would be actually is where I'd like to go to that game.
The true pronunciation of your last name is Alzugaray, right?
Alzugaray. Yeah.
Right, with the Z, like the T.
If you're gonna really say it, como un gallego.
Right.
Alzugaray. Yeah.
Alzugaray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In English, it's supposed to be Alzugaray.
Right.
But I Americanize it for people, and
I just walk in between. Yeah.
I just put Alzugari because people would struggle with it since I was a kid. Right. So I just would tell them Al is an owl, Zoo as an animals, and Gary is in Gary, Indiana, and that's it. Oh, Alzugari. Yeah. Oh, okay, great. And then that's it, bro. Because some people get all bent out of shape about mispronouncing your name. To me, bro, I don't really give a shit. So I just make it nice and easy for you. Here, bro, Alzugari. Just leave me alone. Just whatever.
Right. Yeah, I don't expect everyone to be saying furones. Furones is just fine. When you're speaking English, yeah, it's just fine.
Whatever, bro. I don't really give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. It's not going to affect my life in any way, shape, or form. All right, so we just don't know the opponent. Right. But it's not going to be the Bears, right? Because they have the rights. So you usually don't play the other team with the rights. You play, like the Bears will probably be the team that plays the next time in Spain is probably what it is, correct? That's the way I kind of understand it.
Sorry, the volume went a little out. Who were you saying?
The way I understand it is the Bears are the other team that has the rights to Spain. So that tells me it won't be the Bears, the other opponent. The Bears will be the one that plays in Spain the next go around, if it's next year or the year after.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the way I understand it, correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Bears aren't a 2025 opponent of the Dolphins in either regard anyway. So then
that's right. The list of opponents is already out. That's right. Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I remember like people think, actually people were thinking about when it was the Eagles and Packers in Brazil, people were starting to wonder about, whether the Dolphins could get there. But I remember it was already settled. Obviously that the Dolphins were playing the Packers. They weren't playing the Eagles. Or when there was speculation, it could be the Cowboys. And it was already the Dolphins don't play the Cowboys last season. So, but I mean, I could see the NFL trying to get one of the premier matchups. And there's a lot of good home games on the Dolphins schedule this year when you look at it, because the Ravens, the Bengals come to town, the Chargers, we don't know if they come to town, but it's a home game. So one of these is going to go overseas. Could it be the Saints again? Because the Dolphins and Saints have played in London before. Could a Dolphins-Saints game get moved over? Dolphins-Buccaneers? I mean, could they make an all-Florida matchup that it's how many miles? 300 miles away? You can send it overseas. That could be a possibility. Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, get to see him. I don't know if it'll be one of the divisional games, but there's also precedent for that with the Dolphins playing the Jets in a London game. So, a lot of good quarterbacks on the Dolphins' home schedule. So, odds are it's going to be a decent matchup that, fans in Miami will lose at Hard Rock Stadium, but it'll be on an international platform in Spain.
I would imagine that they might put it around the bye week, which we don't know yet when the bye week is, right? So that might be also the thing too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's best to have the post. You always used to call it the post-London bye. Now it would be the post-Europe bye because there's so many European sites that the NFL tries to host these games. So that would be ideal for the Dolphins. I know when teams have their schedules laid out, they can make one request to the league. So I would think it would be beneficial to make the post-Spain week the bye to recalibrate after that overseas travel. The Dolphins did it that way when they had it in Germany 2 years ago, had the bye coming back after that. So I think that's the right move. If I believe it's going to be, we don't have the date yet, but if it's a November game like Germany, then that's perfect timing for it. If it's early in the season like they do October with the London games, that's kind of not the best for just setting yourself up for the rest of the season, because then you just have several weeks, like 13, 12 possible weeks in a row where you're just going at it. Probably 11, 12 in that area if you have that early London game and then the bye in October. So similar to how the Dolphins just had it this year. So, but when they played in London against the Jaguars 2021, Dolphins opted against that bye, had a later bye, but then that was when the Dolphins went that 1-7, 7-game losing streak early in the season. Brian Flores' last year, came back home, lost to the Falcons on a last-second field goal after losing to the Jaguars in London, and that was not ideal for the team. So I would think coming back would be the best.
By the way, Vincent Bruno makes a good point. How many more kids does Tyreek come back from on this trip to Spain?
Oh boy! Well, the man says now that he has his first child with his wife, he's committed. So let's see if we can take his word for it on that one.
Committed to what? Committed to disorganization? Committed to lying? Committed to dropping footballs? Committed to what?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm speaking about his woman, so hopefully that part of it at least.
Committed to a rubber room? Committed to what? What's he committed to? I'm not exactly sure. I don't see a commitment to anything except disorganization. He's not committed to any of his women, not to his team, not to his teammates. I mean, I don't know. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, and only months after talking about that he wants to retire with the Dolphins and how many times he said that, and seeking out those guarantees in his contract on the years that he had. Just a few months later, he's already quitting on his team on week 18. We understand the emotions that are involved in missing the playoffs and losing to the Jets, but I mean, everyone else is out there just playing it out. You got to be out there with your guys. So
he's as unprofessional as he's not a professional, and that's his problem, that he lacks professionalism in every way, shape, and form. And that's always been Tyreek's problem. And that's and unfortunately, when you don't have structure, which this team doesn't have structure, it opens you up to all of this. You know, and that's where. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Wes Welker firing. You know, to me, that's where you bring somebody in to kind of crack the whip, and let them be the bad guy, because I think that's what's going to end up happening. I don't think Mike McDaniel is going to be able to try to be the bad guy now or be the tough guy. That's not going to go over well. Plus, there's no part of him that can play that role. You see his personality. It's not who he is, and it won't come off that way anyways. It'll come off fake.
Right. These players have seen him year upon year now. This is 3 years that they got a good idea of who Mike McDaniel truly is, and he hasn't tried to be that kind of disciplinarian for these 3 seasons, and basically laid it out where, hey, you hire assistant coaches to be that voice, because whatever you are not, then go ahead and have your staff be the ones that watch that unit, and then you don't have to worry about it if it's not truly you as a head coach. So, which, I mean, to his credit, then that you should be able to objectively view yourself that way and say, all right, where I have a void, this is where I need my assistants to fill those voids. But yeah, I mean, I could totally see it where he needs a little bit stronger of a voice to get that unit under control, especially with the personalities that you have. Jalen Waddle is also growing as an NFL player who is now going to be on his second contract, earned that extension, And
Has he grown? Has he grown?
Well, I'm just saying growing as far as now adding years into the league. He actually just had his worst season. Yes.
Yeah,
But
he isn't growing, actually, period. He's
wrong word I use. Maybe
he's got more tenure.
yeah, he's becoming more tenured. Yes.
Yeah, which doesn't mean shit because it's really disappointing for Waddle. He's actually a disappointment now because of the way he has played, considering they've given him the big money and he consistently is dropping footballs. That's a consistent problem for him, and it doesn't matter the quarterback, by the way. Okay? It does not matter who's throwing the ball. He drops footballs in every game practically. And that's a real concern if you're the Miami Dolphins. And you wonder that atmosphere, Tyreek around, does that create that lackadaisical approach to all of this?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's who Jalen Waddle has had to look up to since he was a year 2 player. And so Jalen Waddle basically had his rookie year, gets the feel for what life is like in the NFL. And then first full offseason after that, then he starts to see, we get Tyreek Hill. And, okay, this is how the top wide receiver, he was just named number 1 player by his peers in the NFL going into this past season, didn't play like it, but this is how that player acts and behaves. So that's his influence now. Not to mention then last season having an Odell Beckham Jr. come in and someone who did not produce at all, but probably had some favorable treatment because of the name that he is and the cachet that he brings along with him. So yeah, that is his influence in the league to this point.
Yeah. All right. So what's the move you think that could shock Dolphins fans this offseason that Miami could make? What's that move? Is there
move
one
that could shock Dolphins fans? I would venture to believe it could come in the draft. I feel like usually that move comes in the draft. I don't think it's going to be too eventful of a free agency. A lot of just economical choices in free agency is what I envision based on how much salary cap is tied up and commitments that the Dolphins have on against the cap. So I would think a lot of just smaller moves there. And when you go into the draft, I feel like Chris Greer always just finds a way where one pick, whether it's going cornerback in Cam Smith in the second round to start the 2023 draft, was it? Or a Jalen Wright as another running back, a second straight year drafting a running back in the middle round. So I think somewhere in the draft, I don't know what it is, and that's why it's going to be a surprise. I don't know what the move will be, but it'll be something where a lot of fans are high on a lot of different prospects in the draft. And then a guy that no one was talking about is selected with maybe the Dolphins. Probably not the first round pick because you kind of have an idea of who the guys are going to be in the first round. But maybe once you get into the second round, maybe somewhere else, just what position they go. That's probably where you end up seeing some surprise. But I couldn't tell you what it is yet because that's why it's got to be a surprise.
Will Chubb be a shocker to you cut on June 1st? Should Dolphins be shocked if he's cut June 1st?
When you first mentioned it, it was kind of like I hadn't even looked too much into that because I didn't really have that in my mindset. But then you laid out a good argument for it. Honestly, I mean, $20 million in cap space that you can save as opposed to June 1 cut. Granted, you can't have now. You can make the move earlier. You can make the move this coming month in February. Well, as far as you just don't have the money yet.
Fiscally, it doesn't help you. You have to make the move where it fiscally helps you.
Yeah. But I'm just saying you can cut him in February as a post June 1 cut. Right. So yeah, that's the only thing. That's the way it was done with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, the last two with which it happened. So you could already know that's happening, and then the player can go seek whatever team in free agency he might be looking into. But the funds aren't available until post June 1, which it wouldn't help pre-June 1 anyway. So
they won't need it. They won't. They can. Dude, there was all panic last year, and they didn't even need Tyreek's money, and they made it all happen, and all that. They'll make it happen, and they'll be fine without it. They can move money around. That's, it's what they do in football. They're not at the point where they have to pay the credit card yet. It'll be the following season is when it really comes to a head. It starts to really become a real issue for them. Yeah, real issue for them. So they've got one more year of some flexibility. Not the kind of flexibility they've had in years prior, by the way, but they'll still have enough to get it done this offseason.
Some flexibility.
Yeah, no, but they still have the flexibility to get stuff done, but not what they've had in years past. But that's the plan. That was the plan. That's kind of what it is. This is the window, and now the window starts to close now. So after next season, it starts to close, and it just starts to make it that much harder for you to win. That's why this draft is the most important draft for Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. They have to really nail on picks this year and find guys that instantly help them, because you're not going to be able to solve everything in free agency. So you better hit on a couple picks. They better be instant impact players, because you need it right away in order to turn the corner.
Right. Because you mentioned flexibility. They'll have some flexibility where maybe, on the first day of free agency, you see one or two contracts of the likes of like a Jordan Brooks that the Dolphins were just able to acquire. Maybe you fill one of your roster holes that way, whether it's a guard,
a tackle or something. Yeah. You can
have to be taken care of. So one or two of those will probably get settled with a decent sized contract. But then I think aside from that, then you're looking at a lot of the very cheap, bottom of the barrel, look for a Jordan Poyer on a $1 million contract. Try to find a Calais Campbell, which was great. And if you can get Calais Campbell back this offseason, that'd be fantastic. But where you just get them on like a $1+ million deal, and then maybe some incentives if you get everything that you aspire out of him. But that's what I mean, as far as just you're not going to go seeing them make a big home run splash in free agency. It'll be just some smaller moves, one or two intermediate level caliber moves, and then it's just minimum contracts with guys that want to be here, guys that want to come to Miami, and maybe play for a Mike McDaniel on offense, or play for an Anthony Weaver on defense, guys who really want to join the Dolphins. So that's where and guys who already made their money in their careers, and kind of that, making the most out of this free agency isn't what's of the utmost importance to them. That's where you're looking at. And then that's why if the Dolphins do opt for the post June 1 cut on Bradley Chubb, then those $20 million could go a long way towards signing those 10 draft picks, because it's such a deep draft that the Dolphins do need to hit on these picks, because you also get your cheap labor from those draft picks and having them on rookie contracts for 4 years to come, which coincides with a lot of Tua's contract extension, which it becomes more difficult to formulate that roster around a quarterback once he does hit that second contract.
I'm with you there. Hey, don't forget Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom. Give them a ring, 954-966-4646. If you're having issues with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, personal injury, call my guys, Jeff Welt or Daniel Rayom. Consultations completely free, 954-966-4646. What do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out, my man?
Yeah, I wrote a couple of features this week on interviews I did with Julian Hill. Him dealing with a lot of social media criticism this past year for his play and his penalties, and how he deals with that. So go check that out, as well as I posted an interview I did with Elijah Campbell, core special teamer, reserve on defense, and might get thrown into some packages as a third safety. And he feels ready to be a starting safety in this league as he heads into free agency. So that's one of the goals for him. And hey, with the Dolphins having two free agents in Jordan Poyer and Javon Holland, maybe that could be one of your cheap options if they feel he has progressed to the point where he can do that, or at least compete for a starting job next year as a cheaper contract. So go check those out. as well as the news on the Dolphins going to Spain this morning, of course.
I get the feeling Julian Hill's the guy that drops his phone a lot or forgets it or I don't know, just hits delete on accounts or something. I just kind of get that. It's just one of those. Was that in your article? Did he talk about how he screws up off the field like he does on the field? I'm just wondering. No?
You're terrible. You're terrible.
Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his terrific work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, have a terrific weekend and hang on to that phone.
I got it.
Got it. All right. Hour number 2 is next. Manny Navarro joins us.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. There he is. Wait a minute, where am I? I don't see
You're the one hiding now, man. What happened?
I'm hiding. Bitcoin's not hiding. I don't know.
Oh, there it is. There's the Bitcoin.
104,000, baby. 104.
As long as we keep going up while I'm on the show, man. Even though I'm playing at 60% today as I'm recovering from this terrible flu. But other than that, I'm
notice, you see the pumps here? I knew that you were coming up. So
that's what it was.
You know, it saw the pumps, and look at that. Look at that pumpy, pump right there, baby. We were at 102.8 at 9:38, and so that was prior to the show. And like they knew, okay, Manny's scheduled for the show, and so here we go. We're already approaching 104 here. So nice job by you. Now, what's going on with the camera? Is that like, I don't know. What's up with that? We're like blank. You're hearing me, right? Like
I'm absolutely hearing you. I'm not seeing you. It's almost as if you're playing hide and go seek. You know, you're taunting me.
You froze during Furones' interview, and then now you're off during Manny.
Now we've lost his voice. Maybe he's resetting the whole thing, right? How you guys doing? It's the Manny Navarro minute here, Hurricanes minute, as I sit here and welcome you. How you guys doing? There's Big O. All right. See, I was hosting again when you were gone.
Yes. It's like something's going on with that camera. I don't know what the hell's going on with that camera, but we're going to have to look into that camera. Anyway, all right. So good stuff there. We got Bitcoin pumping to 94 figures. Of course, we got Manny going on here. Manny, talk to us. Changes, new defensive coordinator. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see Mario got the hire done without without taking forever this time. He was obviously working on it in season, right? As he was making that decision to get rid of Lance Guidry, studying guys, and obviously it's why he interviews a lot of guys through the process, the previous process, because he always wants to have people that he has in mind. I think Greg Schiano played a huge role in Corey Heatherman becoming the new defensive coordinator here. Heatherman coached for him for 2 years. Or 3 years, I think, up at Rutgers, and was kind of an up-and-coming ex-Division III quarterback, a guy who knows the offensive side of the game really well, an up-and-coming coach who, in his one season as defensive coordinator in Minnesota, completely turned that defense around statistically, and they had top 15 marks in a lot of areas. And so I think Mario just wants to, solidify two things. One, he's a linebackers coach. So Derek Nicholson's on his way to Missouri, and I think ultimately Mario wanted to make a change and bring in a guy who would be in charge of linebackers and have the Greg Schiano blessing. As you know, or if people don't know, Mario cut his teeth really in coaching early in his career with Greg Schiano, and that's a guy he will always listen to when it comes to recommendations.
Okay. Schiano's been a good coach in his career. I mean, that's somebody that you should. I mean, he did stuff at Rutgers nobody's ever done before. Nobody ever will do again, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Wasn't Rutgers in the Orange Bowl once?
No, I don't know if they made. Did they make the Orange Bowl? I don't remember ever covering them in the Orange Bowl.
Like they made a big ass bowl.
It might have been like one of the ones in Tampa or like the Outback or one of those type of things.
No, it was bigger than that, doggy.
It was
bigger than Outback. I remember Schiano got them to some kind like a really impressive bowl game that I was like, holy shit, Rutgers is in this game.
They kicked Mario's ass in the Pinstripe Bowl not too long ago, if you remember that, 2 years ago. So I'm trying to remember which bowl game it was that Rutgers was in. Yeah, I don't.
Sean will look it up now. Sean will look it up.
Yeah,
he's the expert at all of that. Do you like the hire overall for a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, like I tried to tell people before, there's so much coaching turnover now. Like, remember we had this conversation, is he going to fire Guidry? What's going to happen? Who should he get? Nobody had an idea who the hell Lance Guidry was down here, right? Before Mario hired him. Nobody knows who the hell Heatherman is either, right? They'd never heard of him. I think ultimately now there's so much coaching turnover that if you come from a certain coaching tree, that's probably a good thing. And this guy came through the Schiano tree, and we know what Greg Schiano accomplished not only at Rutgers but here at Miami, right? And so I think that matters more nowadays when you're looking for coordinators, because there's only 5 or 6 guys that have big recognizable names that don't ever become head coaches and just sort of serve that defense coordinator role. Those guys are at the Alabamas and the Ohio States and at the big time programs that win national championships. Miami hasn't gotten back to there yet. So I think, when they hired Kevin Steele, it was a big name because everybody knew Kevin Steele. He'd been on a bunch of different rosters. Heatherman is just a good up and coming coach. You have to trust that Schiano knows what he's talking about and why he recommended him to Mario. So I think it's a good hire. I think the guy has really good results in his 1 year calling a defense at a Big Ten school. Minnesota almost beat Penn State this year, who was in the Final Four. So the guy can obviously coach, and I like the fact that he comes from the offensive side of the football. The fact that he was a quarterback. I like coaches who have been on both sides of the ball, so to speak, because they know, as a quarterback, what you're looking to expose on a defense, and I like the fact that this guy is comes from that original think tank.
By the way, I'm looking at it. I don't think it was. It doesn't look like I was right on the Orange Bowl or even a big bowl game.
Yeah, it didn't sound right to me. What happened was Rutgers, I think, got to number 2 or number 3 in the country.
They did have. What do you got, Sean?
No, it was the 2006 Texas Bowl, but I'm trying to figure out it replaced the Houston something bowl, but I don't know what the hell that was. In Reliance Stadium, they beat Kansas State 37-10, and that year they finished number 12 with 11-2 record.
There was a point.
That was the year that they had like a massive year for Rutgers, and it was like, are you kidding me? So it was
they got to number 7 in the country that year. That was their highest ranking.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean, Rutgers will never do that again.
No, But again, it's funny. You look at the guys that replaced them at Rutgers. Now, at least the last 2 seasons, the guys gotten winning records. They hadn't had a winning record since 2014. So I mean, look, Greg Schiano might have been, in the end, Miami picked Larry Coker to replace Butch Davis. But think about it, right?
But
Schiano could have been the choice.
Went with continuity there because he was already there.
Right. Right, but I think a lot of people have always thought Schiano was the better coordinator and the better coach.
Yeah.
So,
and they also went the cheap route too.
Yeah, of course. Well, that was what happened back in the day. Now they don't go the cheap route anymore. Oh.
Now they actually spend money. How much is this guy getting, the defensive coordinator?
Oh, the defensive coordinator? I'm guessing he's got to be making double what he was at Minnesota, which is $1 million. Minnesota yeah.
So he's not making two. I would figure he would be making like $2 million.
That's what I'm saying. He was making $1 million at Minnesota, so I think he's making close to double that now at Miami.
Nice.
So
and no tax state.
Right, and that's the thing. And Minnesota has lost some really good coaches the last few years. They're a Big Ten school; they make a lot of money, but they're not paying their PJ Fleck and those guys for whatever reason. I guess they're spending their money on NIL. They don't have enough to go around. It's nice when you can be a school with NIL and enough money to hire good coaches, right? Isn't that amazing?
Well, but that's where, that's the depressing part for me. I wanted Mario here, and I got to say, I'm looking like I'm wrong here on this one, bro, because I don't know if Mario's going to turn the corner like I wanted to turn the corner, because he has every resource that no Canes coach has ever had in his life. And we're going into year 4, and he can't put together a staff, and he still can't win enough relevant games. And he can't even win a bowl game. And I look at it okay, so whatever crappy decision you made with Cam or whatever, first of all, I think he shouldn't even play the game if he had to play a half. Don't even risk your injury, bro. Just go. But whatever NIL agreement you did or whatever, but once he left, you showed me as a coach what you are when the other guy took over. And your team wasn't prepared. The kid wasn't prepared. You didn't look good. It's kind of like people tell me, some people will say, well, Mike McDaniel resurrected to his career. I'm like, no, dude, no. He gave him confidence. Tua plays on his own. It has nothing to do with Mike McDaniel, because watch the team with Tua and then watch the team without. So if Mike McDaniel was a magic worker with anyone, then everyone, you would be Spo, in other words. Whoever you are under Spo, you're going to be the best player you've ever been in your life. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? That's right. What I see that with McDaniel. So the same thing. To me, I saw Cam carrying, Mario, and then no Cam, and oh my God. So I'm thinking, bro, Carson Beck, you're no Cam. And he erased a lot of shit. Oh, dude, I'm nervous about this one, bro. I'm nervous about this one. I got to tell you.
Well, here's what I would say. Carson Beck.
It's not the Carson thing. I just don't know if Mario's the guy. Carson Beck is good, but he's not even Cam. And you couldn't even win the ACC. You couldn't even get to the ACC championship game with a Heisman Trophy contender. I don't think this guy's as good as Cam.
If Mario comes back here in year 4 without Cam Ward, without a guy who could potentially be the first pick, right? Because I think that's potential. We don't know for sure if he's going to be the first pick, but certainly if he comes back and they make the playoff without him, then I think he's proven, he was building towards something.
Yes.
But if they go 8-4 this year without him, then I think we reach the point where maybe he really does. So that's where I'm at with my assessment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's fair. That's where you should be. Yeah. I'm already at the point oh man, I don't feel good about this anymore. I don't feel good about Mario. I don't like his team, his game day. I just don't feel like his teams are well prepared. I don't think I don't think the Canes have a coach that is going to outsmart the other guy, outcoach the other guy.
Well, I've always
about out hustle and outwork and blah 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 and cliches, because that's what Mark does. He just talks in cliches, bro. And it's like, yo, man, come on.
Yeah, bro. He's the old school model of what was successful in the 2000s when you didn't have NIL and all that other stuff. You could recruit, you could stack classes. The game has changed, and he has to evolve and prove, that he can marry himself to the right coordinator. Yeah, I know.
Personality.
Yeah.
Zero, dude. It's the old boring X's and O's coach and cliches and dude, come on, man, evolve, get a personality, grow, and just it's too much of that old school stuff, blah blah blah. And when you hear him talk, it's just like in here, out that way. Really.
Yeah.
Sad.
I think it is the old school way, and I that's why I'm kind of hoping this DC hire pans out, because I think he needs some fresh blood, so to speak, around him from a coaching perspective. Guidry, I thought, brought that in year one, right? He gave some different thinking. They ran some 3-3 stack type defenses when they had some injuries on the defensive line. Innovative stuff. You saw them get to, but then the act got old this year, right? And teams figured out Guidry pretty quickly. I'm hoping Heatherman, he's a younger coach, but he kind of has Mario's personality. I'm hoping maybe over time we see a different guy. That Viking, he looks like a Viking, right? I mean, literally come from Minnesota. He looks like a Viking with that beard. I hope he's got more, I don't know, humor and more personality to him than we saw in the initial press conference. But
he's got Mr. Personality with the mustache hanging around his ass.
Right, but we never hear him talk. So that's the problem.
And that dude's got personality exploding all over the place, dude. Wow. I mean, you got, but it's not it's not in a Mario. It's just he's just that guy. So
yeah, I guess maybe we get to hear a little bit more from Jason Taylor, assuming he's still here. We'll see.
All right, Carson Beck, your thoughts on that move? Because is he really making like $10 million with NIL and all these other agreements?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Listen, agents nowadays. Oh, you can explain it to your audience how it works in the NFL, right? I mean, there's a collective. What is it? Besides the CBA, there's somebody who has to they have to report the contracts to, right? The Players Association, and so this stuff becomes visible to them, and that information. So they kind of hold themselves accountable with what numbers are and salary caps and all that kind of stuff. College football, all of this stuff is hidden still. So the agents from a college perspective don't have to necessarily respect any of those guidelines, and they can come out and say, hey, this guy signed this deal because, hey, Carson Beck's agents got him $10 million. Wow, I'm going to go sign with them, man. Look what they got Carson Beck. So the checks and balances isn't the same, obviously, in college. So I think the package, what Miami's collective is actually paying him, is double what Cam Ward got. I know that in terms of what the actual collective.
So he's getting $4 million.
A little more than $3 million. Now there are other packages around that, right? With corporations.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Dr. Pepper, Chick-fil-A, all those other corporations. Aside from that, right, and revenue sharing, all those other corporations, it might be closer to $6-7 million as a total package. But what is Miami's actual collective paying him, right? Like what is?
Right. No, I know
that's a different number. And so what Bruce and I reported, I feel confident about. But the rest of the package, I think it could be anywhere from probably $6 to $10 million, depending on how many national deals he has. And he is going to be a national face like Cam Ward. He is going to be a Heisman contender if he's healthy because of what Cam Ward did last year and the fact that he's going to be the new leader of what was the number one offense. So going into the season, you will hear Heisman hype for Carson Beck. Whether or not he's still in the Heisman race come week 8 is a different story. But the point is he will at least go into the year. And those are the guys that get paid because they're the face of college football now.
I watched him, and he's a good quarterback, but he's not the eraser that this other kid is.
Right.
So that's, I'm just saying, I know Cam has – it's going to be fun to watch him adjust in the NFL because it's a different game than he played here. But the game he played here, very few people can do what he did. And Carson Beck can't do what he did.
This has to be a much more balanced offense.
Yeah, this has to be a much better team next year. Minus Cam, dude. If it's going to have and a much better team if you're actually going to win the conference, because I think last time I checked, Clemson now is going to spend money on NIL, so they got a chance of getting even better now.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson is still spending money on high school players and certainly coaches, right? They took Penn State's defensive coordinator away from him. But if you go back to 2023, when Carson Beck first became the starter at Georgia, and he led that team to really a 12-0 season, and they were right there on the precipice of making the national championship game before they lost to Alabama in the playoff. He was a ridiculously good quarterback, and a big part of that was Ladd McConkey and
super loaded.
and the tight end. So you're right. I mean, I think Miami has some really. I think Miami has some NFL players around him. Like Ward had Xavier Restrepo, who will get drafted and make an NFL team. But I think Miami still needs to go out and add an NFL receiver. Jojo Trader might eventually become that. I think he's good. I think CJ Daniels is probably a day 3 guy. But you lost Elijah Arroyo at tight end, and you need Elijah Lofton, to kind of develop and take that next step into what Penn State just had. I think he's a very similar player to the guy at Penn State, where he's a multi-purpose knife. I think Fletcher and Lyle are NFL running backs. I think Francis Mauigoa is an NFL first-round pick at right tackle. I think he has that potential. So there's NFL players around him. Is it Georgia-level talent yet, like what Beck played with in 23? Not yet, but I think Mario can still get there, and I think there's still time in the portal to add another receiver or another guy that puts you over the top. So I think Miami's very well positioned in an ACC that is still not very good. Let's not forget, Florida State is still not very good. And, the Clemson team that you saw last year make the playoff and win the conference, they lost some guys. And while they did spend a little on NIL, it's not like Miami. It's not the same level of additions. They got some good players. They got the defensive end and edge rusher from Purdue, who's a good player, but it's not 9, 10, 11 guys like Miami went out and has done with its group, where those guys are all going to come in and start and play a lot. So I'm very interested to see what Clemson does. I respect Dabo Swinney. I think he does a great job. I just, from what they were, being a juggernaut, winning national championship and contending, to what they are now, and I think Miami fits in right there with a healthy Carson Beck. SMU, I would say, is still very, very good. But again, they're losing some guys that were a big part of their success, including their running back who came from Miami. So I'm interested to see what the ACC is going to look like. But I think this is a very winnable conference still for Miami.
All right. Don't forget, visit our friends at Caneswear. Brett and all the great people out there, man. They do an amazing job. Go to caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off, either online or in person. And by the way, online, if you don't live close by, you want to order online. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. All right. So there you go. Go to caneswear.com. And then let's take a break, and we'll come back with our Big Cheese NIL recruiting segment.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right, Manny, no bigger cheese right now than, of course, Bitcoin, which is moving now. See, 104,577 now. See, now we're working our way to 105 during your appearance, okay?
All right,
See?
that's what I like. I want to make you guys money, that's for sure.
Pumping, baby, pumping. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Pump it up. Go down there to the Big Cheese. Get some delicious garlic rolls. Get a little lasagna, a little pizza. It's good stuff there. By the way, the party platters are also available. So if you want to have a get together, your office or family or anything like that, you can call the Big Cheese and you can order the party platters. Any dish can become a party platter. 305-662-6855. All right, so the big cheese that landed this week was Carson Beck. We've talked about that this week. What is in the backup news for quarterbacks? Are they done? Is there feathers ruffled with the young guy that's been waiting in the wing? Talk to us. What's going on there?
Well, Beck is not going to actually be running anything during spring football, my understanding. I think he will be out in terms of taking snaps, etc. For a guy like Emory Williams, obviously there are going to be teams, particularly one down the road at FIU, where his former quarterbacks coach and recruiter is at, that'll probably be looking to add him. The problem for Emory is, Beck's. It's kind of a really weird situation because obviously Beck, everyone expects his elbow to be fine, and for him to be able to play at the start of the season. Miami's obviously going to pay him a lot of money to start this season, but the two guys that are the competition for Williams are a true freshman, Luke Nickel, that they're really excited about, and a guy in Judd Anderson that I don't know will ever see the field here. So it's kind of a weird thing, right? Because he's been sitting here investing all this time, waiting to take over the starting job. He's learned the offense. He's obviously built a relationship with Miami's offensive coordinator, who's been here now going on year 3. And so I'm very interested to see how it plays out. I know that his family obviously wanted him to get the starting job and be in place to take over for Cam Ward. But, I would imagine they're looking at other potential spots. I don't know that he is going to leave yet. I think he might be better served finishing the semester at Miami. He's a smart kid. Who knows if he's close to graduating already in 3 years that he's been here. And then, he redshirted last year. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. I think if Carson Beck comes back and is healthy by April, May, where he's feeling great, I would not be surprised to see Emory Williams enter the portal and go. And then at that point, Miami's backup situation becomes most likely the true freshman, Luke Nickel, who I know the coaching staff is really excited about. And I think that's the way Miami goes.
I got to ask because we're going to need a quarterback for the crappy bowl game at the end of the year.
Yes. Right. That's the way it operates, man. Luke Nickel would be the starting quarterback for the whatever bowl game Miami's in, for sure. If it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl again or the Mayo Bowl. Yeah.
Unless you're in the playoffs, Carson Beck probably will not play.
Of course not. Of course not. At that point, there are no...
The experience this year from Cam is a great example for the next guy, which is Carson Beck. And let's not agree to play a half. Either we don't play the game or we only play when it's the playoffs. If it's not the playoffs, then we're not playing the bowl game.
Here's the thing I'm going to say. Here's the quick thing I'm going to say about that, and the more perspective that I've got as time has gone on with this. Mario, I think, was in a bit of a tough spot because you sell something as a coach, right? Come to my program, set records, run the number one offense. And then when the kids sign these NIL deals, hey, play in the bowl game and there's whatever $300,000 bonus, whatever. Like the kid was on the mark for the FBS rec. All you had to do was throw one. And essentially what ended up happening was they were in a tight game in the first half, and he wanted to finish it. And so whatever agreement they had, I think maybe it was a quarter, and then it turned into a half. Like, I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to be in, because in the end, what Cam Ward's success and his year did for you helped land you Carson Beck. Carson Beck doesn't come here if Cam Ward doesn't play the way he did.
I agree.
So I think even seeing Cam Ward play in the bowl game, a meaningless bowl game, let's face it, it's a freaking exhibition, and to get the touchdown record, I think Mario wins points with quarterbacks. Hey, did you see what I did? I let this guy play and I took the heat for him. Everybody called me the idiot, not him the idiot. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh no, he's an idiot too.
Right, but I'm saying in the end, Mario looked like the bigger idiot, right?
Yeah, but playing a half of a meaningless bowl game for a record, that's stupid. I actually think. But I mean, if the record means something for you, fine. But if you end up blowing your knee or your shoulder in that half,
I agree. I agree 100%.
Stupid record in a meaningless game.
Yeah.
You know, it's just stupid all around, dude. I you know, to me, and the worst part about it, the worst indictment of it all was once Cam stepped off the field, how incompetent your team looked. And that to me was the real indictment on Mario. That's the part. In the end, the Cam stuff, bro, I don't really give a shit about it. The bowl game's meaningless. To me, the more criticism that I have of Cam is, dude, you shouldn't have played at all. You're playing for a stupid record. You're risking your real career for a shitty record that means really nothing in the end, because it's about winning or something significant in college football, whatever record it is, dude. Now,
right.
Okay. So who has the rushing record from 4 years ago?
Right. No, nobody knows. But for Cam Ward, a guy who was a 0-star recruit, didn't get to win the Heisman. It's his parting gift.
Yeah, it's his. Yeah, but I just my criticism to him was it was a terrible business decision on your part. My criticism to Mario Cristobal, it was a terrible coaching decision on your part too, because you put your player at risk. You should have told him, hey, that record's not important. What's important is your career. You're going to put your, this bowl game isn't important for you. It isn't that important for us. So let's move on. Let's, save everybody a problem, because we've seen Kevin Fagan. We've seen Melvin Bratton. We've seen Willis McGahee. I've witnessed it all. I've seen them all blow out knees in final games with the University of Miami. And by the way, they were all playing meaningful games.
Right. Well, it was a different era back then, right? It was.
They were playing in the Orange Bowl. They were playing in big ass games. So they were risking something because it really meant something. Moment.
I will say, not to check you on your history, but remember, this was before the BCS era, even before you had a national championship game. So
I know, but Kevin Fagan was playing a really important game for the University of Miami. Right. So was Willis McGahee. You know what I'm saying? So they were playing in games that were meaningful. This game was not meaningful. That would be my
I agree
for Cam. That you risked your career for a stupid record.
Right.
Give me a break, bro.
I agree. I agree.
Your season was fantastic, bro. That's all you needed.
Yeah, I think NIL and records make you do silly things. So.
Yeah, and I hope that you don't do that again to Carson Beck. I hope Carson Beck learns too that don't risk a half in a meaningless game. If it's the playoffs, then you should play, and everybody should be trying to win and all that good stuff. But it's just, I guess we've had just this whole taste of Tyreek quitting, then the whole Cam thing for the half, and then we have the Jimmy Butler thing. So it's kind of been a month of and I think
quit month. Everybody's quitting. Everybody's getting on those diets, and they're quitting all the bad stuff. Yeah,
it's magnified everything, because everyone that does it is going to get more heat, because it's like, bro, everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And this is bullshit. And that's kind of the way it also did not help that the environment locally has been like that. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yep.
All right, so what do we got in other positions on the NIL and recruiting report?
Well, this is Junior Day weekend. and they're gonna have a bunch of 2026 guys here. One of them is we're gonna get back to the transfers and all that in a second, but I wanted to make sure we talked about junior weekend because that was one of the last topics that came to my mind here as we were getting ready for the show. They're gonna have a kid here, Jalen Waters, is a Florida commitment, a cornerback. Again, you talk about stacking classes. That is a kid who's been committed to Florida. You talk about the head-to-head battles for players with the Gators. They play the Gators September 20th. They open with Notre Dame, but then they play Florida on the 20th. So that'll be a little news report from this weekend. I think the kid's going to flip to Miami. Plus, there's a bunch of other prospects down here who are meeting the new coaches, Heatherman, the defensive coordinator, and everything else. There's a long list of guys that I think it's important to just mention here as we talk about NIL and recruiting. Derek Cooper, the running back here from Hollywood Chaminade, is a huge target for them. One of the best running backs in the country, if not the best one. I've seen this kid now for 2 years. He can play anywhere on the field. Reminds me of Sean Taylor in terms of body type and ability. I think he'd be a tremendous linebacker or safety, but I think he's ultimately going to be running back at the next level. Some other kids, Brandon Bennett, another wide receiver, big time kid. Aiden Pouncey, a safety, another Florida area kid. So they're trying. It's an important weekend for setting the tone because what happens though, I tell people this all the time with recruiting, you got to pay attention to June and all that. But this time, like Junior Day, who comes on Junior Day is a good barometer for who you're really in it for. And those are some of the big names in terms of the 26 class that people should know about.
Okay. All right. Talk to me a little bit on any of the other recruits that they're like a 2027 commit or something like that.
Yeah, they added. I'm trying to remember this kid's name now. I sent out his information earlier this week on a tweet, and now I'm blanking on his name. I'll tell you right now. He's a local wide receiver, Amari Stevens, 5'11", 165. He's at American Heritage now. Was at St. Thomas Aquinas last year. St. Thomas Aquinas wins all those state titles, but he's another fast, huge playmaker, 910 yards, 10 touchdowns last year for Aquinas, Ole Miss, Florida State, some of the schools that were after him. He's the first commitment for Miami in the 2027 class. People don't want to hear about 2027 kids yet, because he's going to change his mind 30 times.
It's true.
But I feel like the first kid that you get in the class and you do it in January, those are important. Like when those things happen are important benchmarks because
starts
the
momentum.
First guy, momentum, and because the coach almost like if he's going to make you the first commit in the class, you're a core piece. Very rarely do you see the first guy drop out. In other words, he's going to be the hook to get a lot of other guys that they're interested in. Right? He's going to be the quote unquote leader. So like Miami's got 3 guys right now committed in the 26 class, including the quarterback, Darion Coleman. Like those guys committed at certain points. Like Coleman committed when all the 26 QBs were committing. Like you look at, he's going to get a good payday in NIL, and he's going to be the hook for everybody else in the class. And so I look at this kid, Stevens, and the fact that he's already a stud, as a sophomore. And I say, okay, let's take note of this guy. Remember this name, Amari Stevens, because he is the hook for the 27 class. And again, long time before he signs, but there's some core guys that I think fan bases should stick on to. Yes, kids are going to flip a bunch of times. That's a guy that I'm willing to bet will be in Miami's class because Mario wouldn't have designated him as the first commit and allowed him to make it such a big thing if he didn't believe in him. So that's it.
By the way, you mentioned something about if Jason Taylor is back. Is there any kind of talk about Jason Taylor moving on or something?
No, I mean, I think, when I was on campus, when Carson Beck got there last Saturday before I got sick with all this cold and was in bed for the last 5 days, JT was there, and it was funny because I was looking at all the assistants who were coming out to welcome because it was move-in day for all the new recruits and all the transfers. And JT was the only assistant on defense that was actually interacting with the kids that I saw really like involved. And so to me, that's the telltale sign, right? The other guys, Chevis Jackson, who's now at Wake Forest, the defensive backs coach, he was kind of holding the door for people as they walked in. Coach D-Nick, I don't even know. I didn't even see him. He didn't even come out with the kids. So all I was going to mention was that of all the assistants that are going to stick around, I think he is the only one on defense that Mario is going to hold on to. And I think as long as there's not an NFL job that comes around that he's interested in, I think JT wants to be at Miami. And I think, part of Mario's pitch to Heatherman was to try to keep JT here. So.
All right, good stuff. Don't forget the Big Cheese is at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. They've been around for 40 years.
Yes.
Billy, Gary, just amazing people.
I could use some of that pasta right now, man, to make myself feel better. That's for sure.
I'm actually thinking maybe this afternoon I might go to the Big Cheese with the wife and go have a little bit of pasta there at the Big Cheese. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. You can order it for delivery, pickup, or of course just dine in. And the place is like a UM Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, the memories on the walls are for the last 40 years. And it's going to freak you out. Autographs, pictures, memories, just great stuff, dude. Best players you've ever played at the Canes, and some of the most famous people, they've all been there to the Big Cheese. Go check it out. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Manny, what do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, when I start writing again on Monday, I will be talking about the transfer portal winners and losers. Obviously we got the national championship game on Monday night between Ohio State and Notre Dame. I will be looking ahead. I will be making predictions for the 2025 year, my oddly specific predictions. I think I went 98 and 46 was my overall record, week to week picking games this season. And I predicted Ohio State would win the national title in August. I thought Notre Dame would make it to the Final Four. They made it to the championship game. So I will be sharing my crystal ball for next year and who I think will be playing for the national championship in that column as well. So if you want to read that and check that out, I will be back with some writing next week after getting over this flu, brother.
Well, we made them money, bro, because we gave them Ohio State -6, and we told them to take Notre Dame -1 off, and I'm going Ohio State in this one. And
yes. Yes.
Okay. And by the way, for the record, for your appearance, okay, just so you'll know, we're almost at 105.
All right. That's what I'm here for, brother.
We were approaching 104. We were at 103.9 something.
Yep.
We're approaching 105 now. Okay. So it's gone up $1,000 pretty much while you've been on here. So I'm just telling you.
I'm excited. I'm glad. I'm happy I keep delivering. When I stop doing that for you, you're probably gonna have to replace me, right? I mean,
when the fuck are you gonna start investing so you can start making your own money, dude? What the hell's wrong with you?
I know, brother. I know. You keep getting on
me. Come on.
Yep.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Send them some Bitcoin. Have a great weekend, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
All right, brother. You too. Take care.
Got it. Big Cheese Miami NIL and recruiting report.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
There's just one place where you could drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us #1.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not 24,000, 20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Here we go. Waiting Bitcoin to crash 105. They're at 104,790, which is a beautiful thing. Let me get to a little music notes before I get to more sports. Here we go. Got a bunch of stuff too today, man. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of things going on. All right, first of all, let's start off with musicians born on this date. By the way, the Method Man story is awesome. Let's start off. Calvin Harris, singer, songwriter, producer, born on this date in 1984. Jeremiah Freitas with the Lumineers, born in 1986 on this date. Kid Rock, Robert James Ritchie, songwriter, musician, rapper, born on this date in 71. Shabba Ranks, Jamaican dancehall musician. Mr. Lover Lover. Oh, girl, Mr. Lover Lover. That reminds me of Ed Kaplan. Ed Kaplan would play that every night on his show. Shabba Ranks, born on this date in 1966. Andy Rourke with the Smiths, bassist, born on this date in 1963. John Crawford, bassist with Berlin, born in the state in 1960. The amazingly beautiful Susanna Hoffs, still beautiful, born on this date in 1959. And the amazing part about her is you see her on IG. She still looks great. And she's constantly doing what I love the best. Women that wear very little to no makeup, the natural look. And she looks great on the natural look, which is really, really cool. Born in this state in 1956. Going to tear your playhouse down, baby. Paul Young. Come back and stay for good this time. Let's see who else. Mick Taylor, guitarist, replaced Peter Green and John Mayall's Blues Breakers. And then, of course, joined the Rolling Stones. Born on this date in 1949. Okay, that is musicians born on this date. Let's go with other folks. And there's a lot of them today celebrating birthdays. It's a hell of a list. Jake Paul is 28 today. Jim Carrey is 63. Michelle Obama is 61. Steve Harvey, 68. Muhammad Ali was born in this state in 1942. We lost him in 2016. Betty White was born in this state in 1922. We just lost her in 2021. Benjamin Franklin was born in this state in 1706. Lost him in just 1790, just recently. Zoe Deschanel is 45 today. James Earl Jones. I'm telling you, this is a freaking amazing list. Born in the state in 1931. We lost him in 2024. Ray J. Is it more about his music or the video with Kim K? Either way, Ray J is 44. Dwayne Wade is 44 years old. Yeah! Little John is 53. Who else? Celebrate. I mean, that's a hell of a list. Eartha Kitt, goddammit. Born in 1927 on this date. We lost her in 08. Alexander Usyk, the boxer, is 38. Crazy ass Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is 71. I'll say that one last. Tiesto, the DJ, is 56 today. Who else celebrating birthday? Maury Povich, damn it, is 86. Is this one? This is a hell of a list, dude. This might be one of the best lists ever on any day. Maxim Sharmovsky, the dancer, is 45. And then one more person is on this list. You know who's 38 today, Sean Stanley? Jimmy Butler lost it. Joy Taylor today, 38 years old. That's a hell of, I mean, is this one of the best lists you've ever heard for birthdays? Like, seriously, like the names were like,
yeah.
I mean, amazing names. Jesus Christ, dude. You got Muhammad Ali on a list with Eartha Kitt and Betty White and Dwayne Wade. And of course, yeah, Little John. I mean, come on. James Earl Jones. This is a stupid ass list, bro. It's ridiculous, the names on here. Benjamin Franklin, Jim Carrey. Come on. It's nuts. What do you got in there's no way your wrestling list could ever even come close to this. Go ahead. By the way, did I take one away from you by saying Jake Paul?
No, you did not, but you took two others away from me. We'll get into that in a minute.
Really? Betty
Yeah.
White.
Yeah, Betty White. Yeah, Betty White was one of them. Yes.
I didn't know Betty White was.
And Benjamin Franklin too. Yeah, Benjamin Franklin was the other one.
Franklin. Oh,
Yeah.
He had the key to it all.
He did. He had the key, and he was electrified.
Yes. All right.
Alex Hammerstone is 34.
Okay.
Chase Stevens turns 46. Dexter Loomis, he is 41. Mordecai, Kevin Thorne turns 48.
Oh, Mike Mordecai. He had a couple home runs for the Marlins. I remember that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And now for my 3 WWE Hall of Famers, 2 of which you've already called, Kid Rock and Muhammad Ali.
Really? Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, he was the referee, the special enforcer for the first ever WrestleMania. He was on the outside. Billy Martin was the guest referee.
Okay.
Kid Rock with all the American Badass. There's a while where every one of his songs was like every pay-per-view. So that's why he got there. And then the one that you missed, which you got a guy that played him, Jim Carrey played him on Man on the Moon, Andy Kaufman.
Oh.
Was born on this date in 1949. Sadly, of course, we lost him in 1982. And he is in the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame.
How is Andy Kaufman not on this entertainers list?
I don't know. Well, listen, your list might be more. I'm just going off what I have here. That list might be more accurate, but you know what? You know what I bet they did?
I'm looking at it over again because I am shocked that Andy Kaufman is not on this list, dude.
Let me see here. Hold on a minute.
Wow.
No, it says he was born January 17th. I thought maybe they saw a picture of Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman and thought maybe Andy Kaufman, but it says here his birthday's January 17th. Dude, I'm not 100% sure.
I just looked it up on the same search engine from the birthdays, January 17th. They don't have him on the list.
Oh, okay.
He died in 1984 at the age of 35, May 16th, New York City. He was born. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. They didn't have I guess they don't put all the birthdays, I guess. They start leaving some people out.
Yeah, after a while, they probably come off the list a little bit.
Yeah.
But those are your birthdays for January 17th, 2025.
All right. Good stuff. Let's get to what else do we have here? Okay. We got that. And now let's get to music history. Got to get to this Method Man story. First of all, let's start off in music history today on January 17th. What happened in 81, Motley Crue formed when bassist Nicky Sixx left band London and began rehearsing with drummer Tommy Lee and vocalist Greg Leon, who later left. Sixx and Lee then added guitarist Bob McMar's deal, and then Vince Neil accepted an offer to join too. Boom. In 64, the Rolling Stones released their first EP. The set included You Better Move On, Poison Ivy, Bye Bye Johnny, and Money. In 2001, bassist Jason Newsted left Metallica after playing the band for a decade. In 2003, a long-lost recording featuring John Lennon and Mick Jagger went up for bid at a London auction. The Actate record was cut in 74 with Mick singing the blues song Too Many Cooks and Lennon playing guitar. It had never been released before. The artists were on different labels. It sold for about $2,300. In 76, Barry Manilow had his second number one song with I Write the Songs. Beach Boy Bruce Johnson penned the tune. I had no idea that Beach Boy Bruce Johnson wrote I Write the Songs That Make the Whole World Sing. I write the songs that... All right. In 98, Australian duo Savage Garden started a 2-week run at number one on the singles charts with Truly Madly Deeply. In 2005, Tenacious D brought some of their famous rockers' friends to a benefit for the victims of the tsunami in Asia. At the concert in L.A. was Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder, Foo Fighters' Dave Grohl, Beck and Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme all performed, then hung around for a show-closing jam with the D. Tenacious D. And that's what happened today in music history. All right. Now, speaking of music, we have had, obviously, the issues with the fires in Los Angeles. The good thing is it looks like they're starting to get them all under control already, and so it looks like they're starting to win this battle that they've unfortunately lost a long time ago, but it's good to see at least it might be coming to an end now, a little closer. So they have been talking about benefit concerts to help, the people in Los Angeles. So Stevie Nicks, Rod Stewart, Sting, Joni Mitchell, and Stephen Stills are the first wave of artists confirmed for a January 30th Fire Aid benefit concert, which will benefit victims of the massive wildfires in Los Angeles. Sting, Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Earth, Wind, and Fire will also appear at the January 30th shows, which will take place at two different Los Angeles venues, Intuit Dome and the Kia Forum. Billie Eilish and Phineas, Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Gracie Abrams, Gwen Stefani, Jelly Roll, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Little Baby, Pink, Tate McRae will also appear. Additional artists, special guests, and lineups for each venue will be announced in the coming days. Tickets for both venues will go on sale Wednesday, January 22nd on Ticketmaster. The shows will begin at 6 p.m. Pacific, will be streamed live on Apple Music and Apple TV apps, Max, iHeart, KTLA, Netflix, Paramount, Prime, Amazon Music Channel, Twitch, SiriusXM, and exclusively on Life with John Mayer, Spotify, SoundCloud, Veeps, and YouTube at select AMC theater locations in 70 U.S. markets. That's pretty amazing. So everyone will have an opportunity to see it, whether you want to go live and travel there, which will be a mess because they got so much stuff going on. Plus, you're going to have those two venues, those kind of artists. It's going to be a circus in Los Angeles. I would love to go. Anyway, as you all know, so we'll see what happens. But that would be a very cool event to be a part of. Okay. And imagine all the people that are going to be, all the other bands that they're going to add to all of this. Method Man is one guy that I can relate to, and every father in the world can relate to, because it could happen to you. And, so Method Man allegedly squabbled up a man he was at a gym with in New York. According to a report in the Post, on January 16th, the 53-year-old Wu-Tang Clan rapper was at Crunch Fitness in Staten Island when he allegedly punched a 28-year-old man in the face 7 times with a closed fist. The unidentified man reportedly felt dizzy and pain in his face, but denied medical attention. Method Man was detained while at the gym, and police report filed. However, the Post notes that the rapper was not arrested on the scene. Method Man, born Clifford Smith Jr., reportedly fought the victim after he realized he was an ex-boyfriend of his daughter, Cheyenne. The two dated over a decade ago. So whatever happened, he was still pissed. Whatever that kid did to his daughter when he was 18 and now 28, Method Man did not forget. No other details behind the motive were confirmed. The rapper had become well known for his work in film, yada, 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 all that other stuff, whatever. They go over his history, which if you follow Method Man's history, you know his history. But it's just, that's a pissed off father, bro. Like whatever happened, like he couldn't get his anger out that moment. My man stored that shit for 10 years. For 10 years, he hadn't run into his daughter's old boyfriend. But there's no doubt that in his mind, he was mother effing that guy for 10 years. I don't know what he did, but hey, anybody that's a father, you can kind of understand the guy losing it a little bit. I love how it says he punched him 7 times in the face. Oh, that was awesome, dude. That was fantastic. I got to tell you, that is awesome. I saw that and I was like tripping because I'm like, okay, that can happen to any of us that are fathers, Somebody messes with our kid and we're not going to be happy about it. That's all. We're not going to be happy about it. So, what are you going to do? Oh man. What other news we also have here on in music? Sammy Hagar might be ready to retire from touring. And I kind of understand it, and I don't blame him. But there's one thing here that's really cool, and I think a lot of artists need to – I've talked about this on the show in the past, and they should do this more often. Sammy Hagar might be ready to retire from touring. The Red Rocker revealed the news during a recent interview with the Miami Herald. How about the Herald getting that nugget? Music nuggets, not bad. Ahead of his best of all worlds Las Vegas residency. He says, I don't think I want to go tour anymore. I hate to say that because I don't want to piss my fans off. I'll go out and do one off show and do things like that. But the residency is going to give me a good extension of my career. That's what I'm hoping for. I keep telling my manager, don't take any tours. Let me do this residency. If I like it enough, I'll do another one, he added. And if it's successful, I'll do another one. And if I can squeeze a few more years out of my career. At 77 years old, traveling around takes its toll. With the residencies, I don't have to travel. I don't have to unpack. I don't have to pack. I don't have to get on a plane every day. At my age, it hurts my shoulders to do all this. And I have to perform. I'm a performer at the end of the day. So he pulled the plug on the touring. And so now he'll be doing the residency at the MGM Garden starting April 30th, as well as May 2nd, the 3rd, 7th, 9th, 10th, 14th, 16th, and 17th. And let me tell you something. I think if you're a big enough artist, I think all of you should be doing residencies. Go to MSG and hang out there for a couple of weeks, Vegas for a couple of weeks, the LA Forum for a couple of weeks, pick something down here in South Florida, whether it's the Kaseya Center or the bank, the Amerant Bank Arena or something, different parts of the country, and just park your ass there for a couple of weeks. And fans from that area, or they'll fly from out of the country and they'll come see you. I don't mind. I just saw a friend of mine is a huge Kenny Chesney fan, and I saw he was going to the Sphere. I sent her the thing. I said, hey, you love Kenny Chesney. There you go. You can go to the Sphere and catch him. It's the coolest thing. And by the way, when you go to a residency, you might be able to go to a couple concerts. It's in Vegas. You go for a couple days. You make it a vacation. You enjoy your concert. I think residencies are the way to go for a lot of these bands. If you're younger and you want to see the world and all that kind of stuff and reach more people and you're building yourself up, I get it. But once you've arrived, go to do residencies, man. That's how I saw ELO. They did a bunch of shows in New York. So I went up to Madison Square Garden to go see them. No problem. U2 did that too. They did a bunch of shows in New York. They've done a bunch of shows in Los Angeles because they didn't go all over the place. So I traveled to Los Angeles and New York to see several shows. I think residencies are awesome, dude. Awesome. And it's really cool for fans. And you might get a better artist because they're more relaxed. They're more rested. They don't do an every night show. They do it an every other night. So they get time in between to rest and recharge and stuff. Sometimes you're seeing people one night after another, and that wears you out, dude. All the touring and traveling and all that. I'm with Hagar on this one. Good for him. I hope it does extend his career. I'd like to see him one more time. You see what they're doing in Indiana? Caitlin Clark? The Fever have announced a plan to build a new state-of-the-art performance center set to open in 2027. The facility is costing $78 million, will span 108,000 square feet, and will be located near the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If there ever was a more stark demonstration of what a star player Caitlin Clark means to the franchise, well, you'll find it right there. For us, this represents another level of commitment in ensuring that our players have the highest level of resources to compete, said Fever President Kelly Christoph Kops, I don't know, something like that. This is an opportunity to showcase our investment in women and women's sports. We've outgrown our current space. We know that the footprint of our league is going to grow, and we want to stay relevant and ahead of the curve. So that is pretty amazing. Okay? They're going to build a practice facility like that. That's impressive. And it shows her juice, man. It's her juice. It's impressive, dude, what she has done for that league. Just people need to appreciate it within that league. By the way, I have bad news for you guys out there. Are you sitting down? Are you relaxed? Don Yee, Tom Brady's agent, says that Brady plans to be in Fox's booth for the duration of his 10-year contract. So you get 9 more years of Brady's boring ass there in the booth. Aren't you really looking forward to it? Because it is some lame ass shit watching him do the broadcast. Oh, man. Talk about Captain Obvious. He doesn't say anything that like enlightens me at all. At all. Jack Del Rio. The news is good for Jack Del Rio. Yeah. He has been named the head coach of the Paris Musketeers. There's a new European league that is starting in the fall. And so they are hiring coaches. And it's good for Jack because they have great wine there in Paris. So that's the good thing. France is known for its wine. And Jack has been known to indulge a little bit in libations. So I thought it was a really good thing. Now, the players will have Gatorade on the sidelines. Jack will have wine. You know, the calls will get really interesting by the fourth quarter for the Paris Musketeers. That's all I can tell you. That's it. All right. Pat in Nashville, Brady can't even smile normally. Looks and sounds like a boring robot. If he would just start calling out the plays and blitzes, now that would be fun. It would be nice. Big O, I sent you info on a Dolphin Club España over in Spain. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Very nice. You're always looking out there. You're the best, bro. John Padilla says, Big O, I'll see you in Madrid. Well, hold on. I don't know if Sean and I will be in Madrid yet. You know, it takes some money to get there. So we got to raise the funds to get there. We got to get sponsorship, and maybe we'll do a GoFundMe or something for the trip or something, because that's going to be it's not going to be cheap to go and cover that event. But it definitely would be. Definitely, if we get to go, we definitely are going to broadcast from a Dolphin bar, for sure. And have like some kind of get together the day before the game at that bar or something like that. If the Dolphins lose their game in Spain, can we leave McDaniel and Greer there and not let them back in the U.S.? I mean, that's that could be a plan for you. That's not bad. That would be something of a plan. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And we're trying to hit 105 here, by the way, on Bitcoin. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. You can also make a donation through PayPal, too. Sean will show you the QR codes there, and you can check it out, too, at the same time. Appreciate you all out there, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What do we have here? Let me see. Thank you, NorCal. I just saw what you sent me, sir. All right. Appreciate it. Dolphins, by the way, Tom Garfinkel, we are thrilled to play the NFL's inaugural game in Spain, a country of rich history, tradition, and passion, and home to a vibrant Dolphins market. And we are proud to join with the NFL in growing the game internationally while engaging with old and new fans alike. With the unique synergy between Miami and Madrid, we believe this is only the beginning for us in this incredible region, and we look forward to bringing the excitement and community of Dolphins football to Spain in 2025 and beyond. Would have been good if you at least put a little buzz right at the end there. You know, if you're going to use the buzz line, you should use the man's, likeness. You're stealing his stuff there. Let's see, what else do we have here? In all reality, happy the Dolphins have this opportunity. Can't wait to see how many fans from Spain the Dolphins have. Zachary, I want to win. I don't care about what the Dolphins buzz is over there. I know they're going to have, because internationally they have a lot of fans. I don't care about who makes a Pro Bowl. Like, they were all up in arms. Oh, they didn't make the Pro Bowl. I don't care. I really am not getting hung up anymore on, the yards that this guy's going to rush for or catch for or throw for or whatever. I really don't care. I am so tired of our team not accomplishing anything collectively that the individual stuff, I just don't care about anymore. Don't care. So I'm not interested. It doesn't intrigue me. I know our fans are awesome. I want our team to be awesome. I know our fans are awesome in New York. I know our fans are awesome in Northern California or in Southern California. I saw our fans in Seattle. Doesn't matter to me. I know what our fans are. Our fans are awesome. We're Super Bowl fucking caliber. No, I don't know if you ever met any of the fans from London. Those people are maniacs. They're awesome. Their team isn't awesome, but they're awesome. Have you seen Dolph Freaky and NorCal? They're awesome. Their team isn't. You know what I'm saying? Chris Barker, he's a badass. His team isn't. Dolph fans don't need to prove shit to me anymore. They're the best. They get nothing, and they're still there. They get nothing, and they're still there. So all you're going to see in Spain is the same thing you see in Miami, or you see in Texas, or you see in Indianapolis, or wherever we've been. You'll see a bunch of Dolphin fans from there and from other places that came to see their team and root for their team and love their team, and their team gives them no freaking love back. So all you'll see in Spain is the same thing, pain in Spain, because that's all we know for 40 years, pain. Now we'll get to be in Spain, so we'll get to rhyme about all our pain in Spain. Let's see. That's 3 times Oscar. A 4th would be a record. What's Oscar did? What did he do? I used to not like the international series, but after meeting so many worldwide Dolph fan club members, I've changed my outlook. Of course, because Dolph fans are awesome. It's the coolest thing to meet Dolph fans from all over the place. Meet good people. And Good people that are constantly getting screwed. You know? So, yeah. Big O Fins fans are in Spain without the S. Oh, I love that. That is fantastic. Fins fans are in Spain without the S. Yeah. And it is so true. That's the worst part about it. It's so true. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was good. By the way, Brian Flores, speaking of Dolphins, former Dolphin coach, he will interview with the Jets and the Jags today. I guess it'll be all that, what's called Zoom, since you're doing 2 in one day. I know you're not flying from one place to another, so you're definitely doing 2 on Zoom. I don't think he'll get a job yet. I don't think so. I think you got to wait for whenever that damn lawsuit ends, and who knows where and when that lawsuit's going to end, because that thing drags out forever. I think you got to have a close to that before an owner makes a commitment to him as a head coach. But for now, what I see in him or Reggie McKenzie or whatever, just like Aaron Glenn, when the Jets wanted when the Patriots wanted to interview him and he said no, he knew he was just a quota. He knew Mike Vrabel had the job. We all knew. I mean, I told you guys the second they fired Mayo, I told you they're hiring Vrabel right there. It's like it was automatic. And I think the Jets are hiring Aaron Glenn. I think the Jets think that's their guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If anything, maybe the Jacksonville job, but agree, don't see it. No, I don't think he's getting any job. I really don't. I don't think they're going to give him a job at all. I think it's just kind of a quota, and to find out where he's at right now and ask him about the situation that he had here and the stuff that he mishandled and all that kind of BS. You know, that's what they'll do to get a follow-up on it and to see where he's at mentally and how he explains himself. And then, you know, down the line, I think it sets him up if he can get past that lawsuit. But without that, if that lawsuit is still pending, it just seems very awkward that you would hire somebody that's suing you. You know, I know why I'm a cynical person as it is because I've been lied to so much in this business. To me, the NFL welcomed him back and let him get a coaching job because they're playing the reverse thing. They're doing the reverse psychology. Us, racist? What are you talking about? Isn't he still working in our league? Didn't they hire him as a defensive coach? Aren't they interviewing him for head coaching job? Us? You know, that's how I'm thinking. You know, that's me. Because it's 35 years of experience of being around these people. So for me, I think they're playing chess. We're all thinking short term. They're thinking big. Well, what do you mean, racist? Our league? Are you kidding me? The guy's suing us and he's still working for us. The guy's suing us and he's interviewing for head coaching. What are you talking about? Miami, there's no racism in Miami. Are you kidding me? It's a minority quarterback. It was a minority head coach that the 3 minorities fired. What are we talking about here? What I think they're doing, Brian Flores, is they're building a stronger case against him by using him. And he's being used. Instead of, he probably should have never taken a job in the NFL so he can actually fight the better way. But he has just given them all the ammunition that they need. Does anybody ever talk about that? Nah. Why be honest? Why, actually talk about the deceiving nature of our society? Oh, man. Big O, I've said for years there will never be an international division in the NFL. I think they continue to grow the cities they visit, but won't put permanent teams internationally. I think they will eventually. The greed will step in, and they will put a division in Europe. Yeah. I think what they're doing is slowly but surely working their way to it. They're building and building more and making more and more of a connection and all that. And then eventually it'll be more of a seamless transition whenever they do it. They're too greedy, NorCal. They're too greedy. They don't care about the players. They play the Thursday games. They don't give a shit if they don't rest. They played a Wednesday game this year. They don't care. They only care about money. So they'll add the 20th week. They'll add the 18th game. They'll add the 2 bye weeks. And I think they will add a division when it's all said and done. Okay? I believe it will come. Maybe it'll be 5-10 years from now, but I think it will happen. Just like Bitcoin will continue to climb, and it just hit 105,000. There you go. 105,000, baby. 105,000. Ha! Love it. Love it. John Padilla says, I'm focused on Spain. I can go. Just need to convince my lady. I mean, it's a great trip, dude. Does it really matter if the game, like, you win or lose? You can still have a great trip. You get to meet a lot of great Dolphins from all over the world. You get to see Spain. You get to have amazing food. You know? So, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. It's a great trip. For sure. Beautiful country. I'd like to go for like a week so I can like maybe hang out for 2 days in Madeira. Because Madeira is like, it's Hawaii of the Spanish Riviera, put it that way, basically. Such a beautiful island. If you guys want to check out, look at Madeira, Spain, and go watch videos of that incredible island and everything that they have and the amount of nature that's there, from mountains and volcanoes and waterfalls and panoramic views, and just beautiful, dude. Beautiful, beautiful. Madeira is a place I'm dying to take my wife. You don't be surprised if in the next year or two I pop up and, hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing the show. I'm in Madeira, Spain. I will. That is one of the places on my bucket list that I will visit in the next 2 years. I guarantee you that. I might visit it this year if I don't know, if I go to that trip. I might do it. Maybe not. But I definitely I want to go with my wife. I want to go for like a week to Madeira. There's so much to do there. It would be awesome. Just, picturesque. Seriously. Should check it out. That is definitely one of my bucket list places that I want to go to. Pump-a-lumpin', you know it, Kyle. You know it. Although I got to tell you something, Kyle, since you're the Caspa guy. I'm happy that I, invested in Caspa, and now it's gone 38% since I invested. I'm not going to ever, but there's a little part of me that was like hoping, a little more not for you. I know, dude, you've been at this for a while and it's been consolidating between 10 and 20 cents for a whole year. So you've had enough. You deserve past 20 cents. And I know that's when you'll really start celebrating. So I know where you're at. But there's a part of me that's like, hey, I don't mind if you continue to hang out in the 11-cent range, 12-cent range, so I can just accumulate even more and more and more, because I am really convinced that it's going to be a monster. Again, I am not a financial advisor, by the way. Kyle Cockrell and Orlando Alzagari, we're not financial advisors. Kyle and I are just two dudes that like crypto. We happen to like Caspa. That's it. Right, Kyle? Right? So you guys do your own homework. Kyle, he loved Caspa, and I did my homework, and then I got in. Okay? All right? While Kyle encouraged me and all that, I waited till I did my own. And I think I did it live for you guys. I told Kyle, I'm studying and I'm waiting. I studied and I took a dive. after I gathered all my information. Okay, and I'm going to do a CASPA show too. I've been saying that, but I have not gotten the momentum for it. What else do we have? Just curious, are you just continuing to hold Bitcoin, or are you just taking cash out of it here and there? Brian, you're not an investor, are you? I'm not selling Bitcoin at all. I have no intentions on selling Bitcoin. Zero. I'm selling Ethereum, Solana. I'm selling XRP. I'm selling Neutron. I'm selling Vanar Chain. I'm selling, Cardano. I'm selling those. I'm selling my Star Atlas, Polis. I'm selling Jasmy. I'm selling. I'm actually not selling Caspa. Kyle, I'm not selling Bitcoin or Caspa. Those are the two I'm not selling. Okay. Caspa I will eventually sell and use it as cash, because I believe that's what it's going to be. I believe it's going to be the monetary, it's going to be the cash of the world. I don't believe Bitcoin will be the cash of the world. I will explain that all on the show. But anyway, so I'm not selling my Bitcoin or my Caspa. At least for now, Caspa. I'll let it grow and then start to use it, because that's what it's going to be for. But the Bitcoin, I don't plan on selling it at all. So I can tell that you, sir, are not an investor and you don't understand Bitcoin. You don't sell your Bitcoin. You borrow against it if you want. You can lend to other people against it if you want. You can make money that way off of it, but you don't sell your Bitcoin. Yeah. So you use your Bitcoin to grow your family's wealth. And in my case, it's for my daughter's wealth, not me. You know what I'm saying? She gets the Bitcoin. My wife and I get the altcoins. We're going to go travel, have fun, all that good stuff. My daughter gets the Bitcoin. So that's what it is. That's what it's for, my brother. You need to really study what Bitcoin is all about. Bitcoin is not something that you should be, listen, if you're lucky and you have a couple of Bitcoins and all that, I'm not that person. But if you have, several Bitcoins and it goes up to a couple million and you want to cash out one of them because you want to go, go crazy and go have fun, dude, do it. You deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But you really should hold your Bitcoin because it's too finite. Okay. And that's, again, people that don't understand Bitcoin don't understand the finite existence of it. They don't understand the value of it. That's the worst part about it. They still don't get it. And that's why it is so sad that so many people have missed a boat on Bitcoin. And now that it's past 100,000, you priced out everybody in the middle class down. Nobody has 105,000 sitting there to go buy a. Nobody does that. That you got to be filthy rich. You got to have several million in the bank for you to have 100,000 cash sitting there going, I got an extra 105. You're probably worth $4 or $5 million. Because most people are worth that kind of money. All their money's invested. They don't have it liquid. You know what I'm saying? And soon when it gets to 250 and 300 and 400, it's less than the 1% can afford to go out and, I'll buy a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? This is why we kept talking about it for 5 years. Buy it when it's down at 16 and 18 and 20 and 22, when you can get chunks of it and bigger chunks, and they grow into massive chunks, So you got to really read up on Bitcoin, Brian. Really educate yourself on what the value of Bitcoin. Jonathan Jensen says, just got back from Spain. Watched the Fins-Browns game from Belushi Sports Bar in Barcelona. Nice. Was that a Dolphins bar or just a bar? It's pretty cool. Madeira is actually yes, right. It is right off of the coast of Portugal. Yes, you're right. Let's see what else. To observe and report, not to serve and protect. What else do we have here on the chat board? Let's take the cruise liners La Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pinta to Spain. The round trip is what you're saying? We're going to take the round trip to Spain? By the way, we're holding over 105 now. And I would imagine that after Inauguration Day, this thing is going to jump to 115, something like that. You know, I've been telling you guys, I told you guys a while back. In fact, I remember Pipe Man Slim. I don't know if he's watching. I haven't seen him there for a while. Him and the wife and his child were at Seattle, I believe it was, that I saw him. I remember I told them that we're going to be in this window of 93 to 123, and we've been in it. We did a little bit under 93 for a moment, but it's basically been there. And so now I think this is the part where we go into the teens and the 20s now of this part of the cycle. And then we'll hang out there for a little bit, and, you know, we'll have a little fluctuation, and then we're going to pump to the 150s and above and all that kind of stuff. It's just, you just can't get flustered with the dips, because that's just a time for you to accumulate. Like what I do now is I don't buy any Bitcoin now. You know, I do have my little weekly stuff that I buy, but now that it's running, now I wait for it to find a new plateau. And then what do? I wait for a consolidation period. I wait for then it to start coming back to 10, 15, 20%. And when I see that it's back, then I know it's going to pass the old number. So now I've got a 10 or 15% freebie that I'm going to be able to take advantage of. And then that's where I go, you know, and then I just keep gathering on dips all the way up. That's what you do. You know, just patient. But if you don't have the patience and you're looking for a quick fix, like my man that just asked that, when you're already asking about when to cash out before you've even invested, you know, you're not an investor. You're trying to be a trader. You're trying to be a day trader. It's like this guy I met that he bought Bitcoin at 70. And we were like at 90, something like that, 89 at that moment. And he goes, I have a stop set to sell it at 95. And I go, why would you do that? I go, you'll never get it at 70 again. He goes, nah, it'll come back. It always does. This, I go, no, it's not always anymore. There wasn't institutional money in the past. We have institutional money that's your foundation now. The fluctuations are less. Did it go back to 70? No, it didn't. So now he sold at 95. He lost all the Bitcoin that he bought at 70. And here it is at 10. It went to 108. It's going to go to 115, 120. And you could have kept your Bitcoin at 7. If you're looking to sell, wait then. You can buy it you can sell it at a much higher price. But because you really don't know the asset, you just were a trader and you made your money. That's the difference between a trader and an investor. Investors have long-term vision. Traders are looking to get out right away. That's not the game I like to play. That's not a fun game to play. Actually, it's not a game I can afford to play. Let me phrase it the right way. Do you want Jimmy Butler on or off the Miami Heat? The poll question is there. 80% say off. Have you seen any news, Sean, since you're able to do this a lot more than I am to keep up with anything? Is there anything that they're talking about that he's even playing tonight? Because a guy that hasn't practiced with the team and all of a sudden you're just, and I know that people went off he's not on the roster for suspended or this, that, or whatever. That doesn't mean shit. They can announce it later on this afternoon, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do, you know? So, like, look, I see the Herald. What's Jimmy Butler up to in Miami as he awaits his fate? Hint, a racket is involved. All right. What did Chang write now? A racket is involved. Is he playing like a pickleball or something? So he's going to be in a pickleball competition instead of playing for the Heat. Okay. All right. Hey, man, to each his own. You know? Just, let's see. What is it? Big O, what are the odds we can trade Jimmy for Joy Taylor? We need to see more of her for reasons. That might be the best trade you could come up with because at least there'll be no cap space that you have to pay Joy. So that'll be good. You still get all your cap space back. That's the important part. I really hope, I don't know her from Adam. You know what I mean? So I have no idea if she's a good person, bad person, or whatever. She looks like a cool person overall. I don't know. But I hope it's not true for her sake, bro, because if it's true, she's so freaking done. It's beyond done. It's going to be bad for her. She'll be on OnlyFans is where she'll be. She'll make a lot of money on OnlyFans, but that's where she'll end up if that's the case. Although maybe Barstool can hire her. They probably would, actually, if it ends up being true. Pat in Asheville, the only in and out game I like to play is you guys go ahead and read it. I say enough bad stuff on the show. People are running, hiding their kids at that moment. Pat in Asheville. Pat, by the way, I hope you guys are all right over there in North Carolina. Because it's not just LA. We can't forget that North Carolina went through hell and back. What North Carolina and LA have been through this year, Jesus, man. It goes with what happened in Maui a couple of years ago, pretty much. It's absolutely nuts. All right, folks, we're out of here. We thank the great David Furones, the amazing Manny Navarro. If you missed those interviews, you can go back and check it out. Sean Stanley, of course, will post those interviews individually, audio and video. You can catch it there. We are going to wrap it up here. We will see you on Monday morning talking some sports. Appreciate all of you out there. If you sent in a super chat, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or visit our amazing sponsors like Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Go see my man Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto and Tony Stampone and tell them that Big O sent you. And we will see you on Monday.